claims to have confessed to Goldy Brar in the Moosewala murder case. So as promised, over the next 1 hour, we will be taking you through 4 key excerpts from the explosive Goldy Brar confession video. Let's first take you through the first clip that we've accessed. As I pointed out, CNN News 18 can't independently verify this video. However, a top police source has confirmed this to be Goldy Brar's voice.
ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਰੀਗਰੈਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਅਫਸੋਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀ ਇਹੀ ਮੰਗ ਸੀ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਸੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋਣ 'ਚ ਸਾਡੇ 2 ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਤਲ ਹੋਣ 'ਚ ਇਹਦਾ ਇਨਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਸੀ ਸ਼ਰੇਆਮ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਦੇ ਗਾਣਿਆਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਅਕਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਦੀ ਗਾਣਿਆਂ ਵਾਲੀ ਇਮੇਜ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚਾ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਭੁੱਲਣਯੋਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਦੇਣੀ ਬਣਦੀ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੇਟ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਮੀਦ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਜਾਂ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਦੇਵੇ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਵੇ ਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਲਈ ਹੈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਆਮ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਸੀਗੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਆਪ ਹਥਿਆਰ ਚੱਕੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਆਪਦਾ ਬਦਲਾ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਦੇਤਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਸਹੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਜੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਤੀ
Well, that was just the first clip. And before we proceed any further, we want to now break down the biggest takeaways as far as this video is concerned. Let's break down all those details. The first, I have no remorse over Moosewala's murder. But as we pointed out, CNN News 18 at this point cannot independently verify this video. Second big takeaway, Sidhu Moosewala was hated because of maligning Punjabis. But as we pointed out, top police sources have in fact confirmed that this could be Goldy Brar's voice itself. Third big takeaway, we ensured justice for 2 of our brothers. That means this was a plan that had been in the making for a long time. Moosewala celebrated after Deep Sidhu's death. This is also a big takeaway as far as the first excerpt that we put out. Wiki's killers roamed in Sidhu's bulletproof car. As I pointed out, this is something that dates back to a longer period of time. But remember, as we pointed out, this is only the first excerpt that we have put out. We are going to put out many such excerpts to actually take you through these chilling revelations. Let me, before I go across to my colleague Anvit, who can, put the timeline in perspective for us, let me also introduce our guests who are joining us for this very special broadcast. HGS Taliwal, Special Commissioner of Police Special Cell, is now joining us. Sir, we appreciate you taking our time and joining us here on CNN News 18. First, I want to understand, is there a sense of verifying whether this in fact was Goldy Brar's voice or not?
See, we haven't got official copy of this video, so we will not be able to comment on the claims made. Our teams have earlier worked on some cases where there are some voice recordings with us. So, if we see anything which is relevant for Delhi, we will definitely investigate.
What is also very, very clear here is that this was a murder that was possibly in the making for a very, very long time.
Yes, that we already know. We have arrested so many of the shooters and people who planned logistics and the mastermind. We know that it was being planned for many months.
Where does the rivalry between Goldy Brar and Sidhu Moosewala, when does it date back to?
No, we will not be able to comment on this one. See, this is not the mandate of our action at all. See, our action was very limited to the catching of mastermind, catching the shooters behind the incident and people who do logistics. So, our focus was just to see, if it has some relevance to the national capital in the future, and if we can contribute in solving this case and catching the culprits behind this brazen killing.
What was the mandate that you worked through, as you were pointing out, as far as this brazen killing was concerned? What were the kind of logistics that you monitored?
See, we already shared all these details. I mean, you know, we had multiple teams working. I mean, to put it very briefly, we didn't go to the scene of crime, but we worked on the jails, we worked on their old associates, we had arrested a lot of their members of syndicates, we worked on weapon suppliers, we worked on some part of tech which was little unorthodox, and a whole lot of people who have been linked or associated with this syndicate in the past.
What are the current number of teams that are still working as far as the tech that is involved with these syndicates and gangs? What is the tech that is under scanner?
See, we will not be able to share. We will not be able to share our operational details. Sorry.
What is going to be the way forward for you, sir, from here on?
For us, way forward is very simple. We want to contribute a little bit more if we can to catch the remaining shooters involved in the crime and one or two people who were the main logistics suppliers. That's it.
Okay. We'll leave the conversation there, but as we pointed out, we'll try and connect with my colleague Anvit as well. This was just the first excerpt that we put out. Before we move on any further, let's listen in to this clip once again.
मेरा नाम सिद्धू मूसेवाले वाले केस के नाल जोड़िया गया। ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਸੀ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਰੀਗਰੈਟ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕੋਈ ਅਫਸੋਸ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀ ਇਹੀ ਮੰਗ ਸੀ। ਸਿੱਧੂ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਸੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋਣ 'ਚ, ਸਾਡੇ ਦੋ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਤਲ ਹੋਣ 'ਚ ਇਹਦਾ ਇੰਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਸੀ। ਸ਼ਰੇਆਮ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਦੇ ਗਾਣਿਆਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਅਕਸ ਨੂੰ, ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਦੀ ਗਾਣਿਆਂ ਵਾਲੀ ਇਮੇਜ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚਾ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਭੁੱਲਣਯੋਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਦੇਣੀ ਬਣਦੀ ਸੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਤੋਂ, ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੇਟ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਮੀਦ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਜਾਂ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਦੇਵੇ, ਕੁਛ ਹੋਵੇ, ਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ। ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ, ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਲਈ ਹੈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ, ਆਮ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਸੀਗੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਕੀਤਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਹਥਿਆਰ ਚੱਕੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਆਪਦਾ ਬਦਲਾ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਦੇਤਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਸਹੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ, ਜੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਸੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਤੀ।
Let me now bring in my colleague Anvit, who's also going to help us understand the timeline and as to when does this rivalry actually date back to. So Anvit, before we talk about why Brar wanted Moosewala murdered, I quickly want to understand, for the benefit of our viewers as well, when does this rivalry date back to? Where did the rivalry actually begin?
See, Arima, what has also been told by the police, be it Delhi police or Punjab police, when they checked the backgrounds of the two gangs, and they had been calling since the beginning that it's a gang rivalry. In 2021, Vicky Midukeda was killed, and he is said to be a close associate of Lawrence Bishnoi and Goldy Brar. Now, this man was killed, and his cousin was also gunned down the same year. Both of these men were killed in Punjab, and it was being said since the beginning that it was following these two killings, because in these killings it was believed that Neeraj Bhavania and gangster Tillu Tajpuria, their involvement had surfaced, and these two gangs are at loggerheads with Lawrence Bishnoi gang and the Goldy Brar group. And this is this is what the police had also been claiming since the beginning, that it is that because these two the ongoing gun battle between these two gangs is what the result of Sidhu Moosewala's killing, because his manager's role had also surfaced in Vicky Midukeda's murder, and that is why since then these two gangs were after Moosewala. In fact, it is also being said that they have called him a few times earlier. Now, this clip that has come to foray, even though the CNN News 18 has not independently verified the authenticity, when we spoke to Delhi police officials, they also said that they had officially not been given this clip to investigate into, and therefore they are as of now not looking into it. But I'm sure Punjab police must be looking into it, because the claims that this man has made, who is masked, as we can see in the video, he's also wearing he's covering his face and covering his head, so he can't be seen in the video. But it is being said that as he has claimed that he's Goldy Brar, and he's claiming that he has no remorse of what has been done, and he has also given details of the incident. So this calls for a detailed probe, but since the beginning, since Goldy Brar's name has come to foray in this entire case, and Lawrence Bishnoi was also taken on the custody by the Delhi Police's special cell, after which the Delhi Police also came out on record saying that it was Lawrence Bishnoi and Goldy Brar who have orchestrated the entire killing, because Bishnoi had, even though distanced himself himself, but he had said that it was his gang and his men who are involved in this. In fact, Delhi police went on to arrest some of the shooters, including one of them named Ankit, who was arrested 2 weeks ago. And the police had said that he was the one who had actually shot Sidhu Moosewala from very close range, and he was the one who was involved in the entire planning. Police have earlier also arrested some people who had wrecked Moosewala's house and then informed the killers that in which way has he taken and that he is not carrying his security and is not driving his bulletproof car. So all these things have unfolded the conspiracy. It has also been clear that how the entire murder was orchestrated, and Goldy Brar's name has been at the top of it. Last month a red notice was also issued against him by the Interpol, which means that now all the 194 member countries can trace him down and take legal action, because the red notice mentions that he is wanted for criminal conspiracies, for supply of illegal arms and cases like murder. So definitely the net is tightening on Goldy Brar, but as far as this particular clip is concerned, it is not known whether it was him or it was someone else, but yes, definitely the police will look into it. And Delhi police, as we heard Mr. Dhaliwal also say, that they have not officially received a copy of this clip so far and they are not right now investigating it, but I'm sure because Delhi police has made arrests, in time to come they'll definitely look into the involvement of Goldy Brar.
Anvit, I'll request you to stay on with us. It's time for us to now take you through the second explosive excerpt from this Goldy Brar video. Listen in. Nobody used to like him because he used to demean Punjabis. His image improved after he died. People don't know what he did to so many families. He used to talk about these things in his songs as well. My innocent brother was killed. These are apparently the revelations in this excerpt that we're now going to play for you.
ਉਹੀ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ 95% ਲੋਕ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤੂੰ ਗੱਦਾਰ ਐ, ਤੂੰ ਐ ਕਰਤਾ, ਤੂੰ ਇਉਂ ਕਰਤਾ, ਤੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਧੋਖਾ ਕੀਤਾ, ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਸੀ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦੇ ਮਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਸੱਚਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕੋ ਦਮ ਹੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਹੀ ਬਦਲ ਗਈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ। ਕਿੰਨੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਹਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈਆਂ। ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਸੂਰ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ, ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਗਵਾਹ ਹੈ। ਆਮ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਸੂਰ ਹੀ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਸੱਥਰ ਵਿਛਾਏ ਆ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰੇ ਸੱਥਰ ਵੇਖਣੇ ਪਏ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਹਰ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ।
Anvit continues to be with us. So Anvit, two crucial things that I want to understand from you at this point. As we said when we started putting out this exclusive, that at this point CNN News 18 cannot independently verify the video, but what are top police sources telling you? Can they verify the authenticity as far as the voice of Goldy Brar is concerned? And secondly, the second excerpt that we put out where Goldy Brar allegedly is saying that there were certain things that Moosewala did which many people weren't aware of. What are these things that are being referred to?
See, Goldy Brar and this Lawrence Bishnoi, when Lawrence Bishnoi was questioned, he had said that they had been at loggerheads with the other gang members. Now they have been claiming since the beginning that Moosewala was involved in some of these activities. Like his manager's name had also surfaced in the killing of Vicky Midukeda. So they had been believing since then that Moosewala is also directly involved in that killing, because Midukeda was very a close associate of Bishnoi and Brar, and that is where that is what the root of this entire murder has been. They had been calling since the beginning it as a revenge killing, and that is what you remember when this murder took place on May 29th. The next day, one post on social media went viral. It was being said that Goldy Brar has made that post and that he has claimed responsibility for the murder. So since then they had been claiming it that it's a revenge killing, and they had openly been saying that. When Lawrence Bishnoi was taken in custody, he corroborated those details, he corroborated those claims of allegedly made by Goldy Brar, that it was him who was behind the murder and who has orchestrated the entire killing. Now if we talk about the claims in the videos, the police are yet to investigate it, but the way they'll be investigating is that they'll be finding at the source of the video, and that will only verify, because Brar is said to be somewhere in Canada. He had fled Punjab and gone to Canada in 2017 after he was involved in various criminal cases, be it murder, extortion, supplying illegal arms and many other cases that are registered against him. So in 2017 he had fled to Canada, and after that, when since then police have been trying to tighten the net on him, and now last week red notice was issued against him, and that is when he comes under the radar, because now all the 194 member countries of the Interpol can trace him and take legal action against him. But as far as the video is concerned, Delhi police has said that they have not yet started investigation into it because they have not received the video officially from Punjab police. Punjab police, I'm sure, must be looking into it, but the source of the video will only ascertain its authenticity, whether it is Goldy Brar or someone has made such claims on the name of the gangster.
Request you to stay on with us, and we'll talk about how crucial does this video then become as far as this entire investigation, the murder of Sidhu Moosewala. But for the benefit of our viewers, let's listen into that once again.
ਉਹੀ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ 95% ਲੋਕ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤੂੰ ਗੱਦਾਰ ਐ, ਤੂੰ ਐ ਕਰਤਾ, ਤੂੰ ਇਉਂ ਕਰਤਾ, ਤੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਧੋਖਾ ਕੀਤਾ, ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਸੀ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦੇ ਮਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਸੱਚਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕੋ ਦਮ ਹੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਹੀ ਬਦਲ ਗਈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ। ਕਿੰਨੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਹਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈਆਂ। ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਸੂਰ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ, ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਗਵਾਹ ਹੈ। ਆਮ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਸੂਰ ਹੀ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਸੱਥਰ ਵਿਛਾਏ ਆ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰੇ ਸੱਥਰ ਵੇਖਣੇ ਪਏ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਹਰ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ।
I'll request my colleague Anvit to stay on with us. We have another colleague of ours, Anand Tiwari from News 18 India, also now joining us. Anand, as we said, we cannot verify this video independently as of now, but आपके sources और police officials आपको क्या बता रहे हैं? जो आवाज़ हम सुन रहे हैं, क्या ये गोल्डी बरार की है?
जी देखिए, CNN न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया नेटवर्क 18 एक सबसे बड़ा न्यूज़ चैनल है देश का और सबसे विश्वसनीय, इसलिए मंगलवार को जब हमें वर्चुअल नंबर से ये 36 मिनट का वीडियो भेजा गया तो हमने दिल्ली पुलिस के कई बड़े अधिकारियों को ये वीडियो दिखाया। उन्होंने नाम न दिखाने की शर्त पे ये कहा कि ये आवाज हूबहू गोल्डी बरार की। उसके बाद जो हमारा न्यूज़ 18 पंजाब है वहां के भी कई सीनियर अधिकारियों को ये वीडियो दिखाया गया, ये आवाज सुनवाई गई। उसके बाद उन्होंने भी ये कंफर्मेशन की कि आवाज गोल्डी बरार की। उसके बाद आज इसे हम टेलीकास्ट कर रहे हैं, पहली बात। दूसरी बात की दिल्ली पुलिस ने अभी कुछ देर पहले ही न्यूज़ 18 के कैमरे पर जो दिल्ली पुलिस के स्पेशल सीपी हैं, स्पेशल सेल के, उन्होंने कहा है कि हम इस वीडियो को हासिल करेंगे और नेटवर्क 18 से और इसकी फोरेंसिक जांच कराएंगे और उसके बाद देखेंगे कि इस वीडियो में कितनी सत्यता है। लेकिन एक सवाल हमने उनसे और पूछा कि गोल्डी बरार की आवाज तमाम शूटर जानते हैं, और हमने वो टाइमलाइन भी दिखाई थी अभी कि किस तरह से गोल्डी बरार लगातार सिद्धू मूसेवाला के शूटर से बात कर रहा था। उनका कहना था कि बिल्कुल ये बात जायज है कि शूटर्स गोल्डी बरार की आवाज बहुत अच्छे से जानते हैं, लेकिन इस वक्त तमाम शूटर जो हैं वो पंजाब पुलिस की कस्टडी में। इसलिए अब देखना यह होगा कि क्या पंजाब पुलिस इस न्यूज़ 18 के जो वीडियो है और जो ऑडियो है, इसमें जो शख्स दावा कर रहा है गोल्डी बरार होने का, क्या उन्हें शूटर्स को ये वीडियो ऑडियो दिखाया जाएगा, सुनवाया जाएगा, और उस पर उनकी क्या रिएक्शन होते हैं, ये सबसे बड़ा सवाल है इस वक्त।
Anand, बने रहिए हमारे साथ. I'll request my colleague Anvit to also stay on with us. As my colleague, both Anvit and Anand were pointing out, a lot of questions at this point remain unanswered. How do you verify the authenticity of the voice that we just put out for you? Is it actually Goldy Brar? What is going to be the protocol that is going to be followed from here on? Let me also introduce our guests who are joining us this afternoon. We have the BJP spokesperson, Jasmine Sandhavalia. We also have Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia, AAP spokesperson. We have senior journalist Hamid Ansari, and we also have Shashikant, former IPS and former DGP Punjab. Good to have all of you on the broadcast with us. Shashikant, let me begin with you first, because we said at the onset before we put out this exclusive for our viewers that we cannot independently verify the authenticity of this video. So to verify the authenticity of this video, what is going to be the protocol that follows from here on?
So there are two things. First, like he said, that most of the shooters who know his voice and who know the way he talks, they are in the custody of Punjab police. First, they have to, their viewpoint has to be taken. And then again, some sample will have to be collected, independent sample, and that will be sent to the FSA. But here I'd like to tell you that I was talking to some of my friends in Punjab police. They say that his voice looks very much like him, but again, they are not prepared to commit themselves till such time the final report from the FSA comes.
Okay, so a lot of police officials, as my colleagues were also pointing out, refusing to come refusing to comment on camera, but off camera confirming that this does look like this could be Goldy Brar's voice. Hamid Ansari, let me bring you in. So many gangs have been involved. There are rivalries that are involved for over years. There is a larger nexus at play here. It's not just domestically but internationally as well, considering the fact we still don't know the exact location of Goldy Brar. What will it take to identify the players as far as this nexus is concerned?
See, as far as Sidhu Musewala case is concerned, Didima, one thing is very clear that all these, connects have already been established by none other than Mr. Lawrence Bishnoi only during the interrogation of Punjab police as well as the Delhi police. Now the thing is how all these culprits are being brought to the book. They are arrested and the things are verified. As far as your tapes, both of the tapes, as you have shown rightly as of now, both of them already stand established to the extent that if immediately after, within an hour or hour and a half after the death of Mr. Musewala, Mr. Goldy Brar had brought in out a Facebook post wherein he had categorically mentioned all these things, including the purpose of the murder. He had categorically said that it is in lieu of Mr. Vicky Mudakheda, who was murdered last year, and it is, he has taken the revenge of it. Now the thing is, first of all, anybody who has to come on record as far as police is concerned, as Mr. Shashikanji was rightly pointing out, he has to have the exact voice sample of Mr. Goldy Brar. Otherwise, all those people, that may include Priyavrata Fauji or many others who were in contact with him, they just can't say that he is there or not, he is not there. Issue is not that. As far as police is concerned or investigation is concerned or judiciary is concerned, they have to go by the scientific analysis of the thing. For that, you have to have the voice sample of Mr. Goldy Brar. So for that, he has to be taken into custody. As far as the purpose of this murder is concerned, that is very clear from moment one. Once he made these startling revelations that it is in revenge of Vicky Mudakheda murder case. Now, where is Mr. Goldy Brar? Why he has not been arrested for last 4 years or so, once he had fled to Canada? That is a question yet to be seen. But police, before committing it, before confirming it on record, they have to have his voice sample first.
True.
Otherwise, all these things don't mean anything for them. Investigation part.
Correct. I'll take that question to Jasmine Sandhwalia in just a bit. But the larger issue that I also want to understand from Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia is that Sidhu Musewala was a man on the radar of Goldy Brar and other gangs as far as their rivalry is concerned, which again brings us to the larger issue that this was a man where a threat perception was very, very high. Despite all of that, security was reduced and then those details put out. This is where the problems actually began. This is where the first slap was committed on the ground. Mr. Ahluwalia, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, I thought it is for madam. So, see, there is no doubt that what has happened in Punjab after the murder of Sidhu Musewala and how the gangsters and everything is going around. Aam Aadmi Party, as you said, rightly said that the security was reduced, but he, on that particular day when he was murdered, he never took his security guard, the bodyguards with him. Number one. Number two, the Punjab police is trying hard and working on it, and more than 20 people have been arrested. These gangsters were really born in the last 2 tenures or last 3 tenures, we can say. Now the Punjab police, see what politicians used to do in Punjab or in any other state in that case, they used to, save these kinds of gangsters. Who was Vicky Mudakheda? Why he was murdered? What was the reason behind it? Which political party he was affiliated with? Now, who were saving them? Whether Vicky Mudakheda was part of Lawrence Bishnoi, and who was Lawrence Bishnoi then? Why he was made gangster? That time, which party was in the ruling party? And what were the people that they were trying to save them? Aam Aadmi Party is very clear with things that we are not here to save gangsters. We are here to maintain the law and order. Rather, we are the people who are looking after the law and order. Anti-gangster task force was made by Bhagwant Mann, looking at the scenario of Punjab and the neighboring states. Now, when we say that these shooters came from Haryana or even from any other
No, but
state,
despite that, there was this unfortunate murder which actually was given it on a platter to these rival gangs, because this was the opportunity that they were waiting for. That, okay, the security is reduced, the name is put out for everybody to see. Let's attack the next day itself. And then after that also, it took a while for even those who were involved in this murder to be arrested. Also, that's just one part of the larger problem. The other issue, and I agree with what Hamid Ansari was saying, that where is Goldy Brar? Why hasn't he been able to be arrested over the last couple of years? Jasmine Sandavalia, I want to understand where is the lapse as far as getting these gangsters arrested? Somebody like Goldy Brar.
It's total lack of political will. I would like to say that the Punjab police is one of the finest forces in the country which has fought terrorism. And it was only due to the shenanigans of the AAP government that security was withdrawn of 424 people. And unfortunately, because of their noviceness, that list was published, which was totally, very, very rudimentary and should have never been done. On 28th May, it was published, and on 29th, we lost a star. It is for the government to understand, when Mr. Sunny Ahluwalia was saying that the prior governments were responsible for bringing gangism, I would like to say that it is now, it is the present chief minister and the government needs to take right decisions and not pander to gangsters. Why was the security withdrawn? And second, why was the list published? That young man lost his life. Today, what is AAP doing? It is practicing agitprop by making Punjabis fodder for the cheap publicity.
To what the BJP spokesperson is saying, that yes, okay, today you can come on TV debates and say that, you know, there was a mistake that happened. But what next? Is the AAP government and the Punjab police today capable of cracking this nexus?
no, you must have heard in these news, as you also said, one of the reporters even said that on June 8th, there was a red corner notice was issued against Goldy Brar and Mr. Rinda, who is in Pakistan, and Goldy Brar is in Canada. Even Bhagwant Mann talked to the Canadian High Command bringing back Goldy Brar from Canada. Why the previous governments never tried to do so? Why the Vicky Medokheda are part of Shiromani Akali Dal in collaboration?
It's easy to pass the buck today, Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia, because the murder of Sidhu Moosewala happened when your government was in power as far as Punjab is concerned. Your government was responsible for putting that list out. So the least that we can do is have some accountability and have that assurance that we're ready to crack this nexus going forward.
I just want to say one thing here. Now, you already said, I only need your news, that's who is Sachin Bishnoi? How he was able to leave India, he got his passport, and now he is in Dubai. What the central government is trying to do? Why they are, defending, why they are basically helping the gangsters? The Vicky Medokheda, a part of Shiromani Akali Dal, was in collaboration with which party? With Bharatiya Janata Party, who was in the center. Now also they are in the center. That time they were in the Punjab. Why they were not bothered? Why no culprit, no gangster were arrested by them in their tenure? Why Bhagwant Mann has to make an anti-gangster task force and do
because
all
he's the chief minister today, sir.
Because he's responsible.
I want to bring in Hamid Ansari here. Between this back and forth that we're seeing between political spokespersons, I want to understand, where is our biggest lack? Is it the lack of politicians in power, or is it a lapse as far as police officials or our agencies are concerned?
Ridhima, it is both. See, Punjab police being such a professional force, if you recollect from 29th May till date, they have not yet arrested even one shooter. All these shooters have been arrested by Delhi police. Punjab police has, despite claiming big claims for, anti-gangster task force, this and that, there are two very severe lapses. Two severe lapses. One, after even, doing this murder, they got away within 1 hour or so.
Yeah.
They were there in a week for 100 kilometers within the range. They were there in Punjab or Haryana for that matter. What did the Punjab police and the anti-terrorist force was doing? Number one. Number two, if you recollect, Ridhima, there was an attack on Punjab police intelligence headquarters in Patiala. Have they arrested even one perpetrator till date? No. while arresting these smaller mortals who were involved in conspiracy, carrying this and carrying that,
True.
have they arrested one single shooter? And if a police force which cannot arrest one of its own attackers, forget about Sidhu Musewala, Punjab Police Intelligence Headquarters was, attacked with UBL. What is the fate of that case? The thing is, not only Punjab Police leadership has failed because they are they have kept changing their DGPs time and again for one reason or the other. One DGP has gone, the other coming, this and that. And moreover, the political leadership, which has miserably
Correct.
failed, as Mr. Sunny was saying, what he was claiming. My question is, this is a murder of a star committed in Punjab. What the hell the business Delhi police has to arrest those guys in Porbandar? What was Punjab police doing? Why the remaining 3 shooters, they are not yet arrested till date? What is Punjab police doing?
That's the question that I was asking Sunny Ahluwalia, that despite the fact that now we know what has happened, where things went wrong, where is the action to ensure that this doesn't happen again? But I quickly want to bring in Shashikant as well. As far as Punjab is concerned, because it is a border state, security issues are always a concern and they should be a priority because that can turn into some unfortunate events as well. So I want to understand, how do these gangs still continue to operate, considering the fact all these assurances that we just heard from political spokespersons?
Look, the 2-3 questions you asked. Number one, I'll reply to how these gangs are functioning. Gangs always, all over the country for that matter, whether they are Bahubalis of UP or Haryana or whatever. Basically, who are the gangsters? Gangsters are youngsters who, because of one reason or the other, go slightly astray. Then they are used by a section of police officials for their own work, nefarious deeds, and by a section of politicians to garner votes, to threaten persons. And I'll tell you, during elections, invariably what I have seen in various states is that officers are called by the powers that be and they ask that, well, this is your village, this is your area, there is your area, you are responsible for garnering the votes. Well, who's going to garner? Police can't go and openly do it. Police uses such persons. Basically, it's the handiwork of, I say, a section of police officers and a section of politicians. And number 2, a question was there about the efficiency of Punjab Police. Rest assured, Punjab Police is a very, very efficient force, one of the best that I know of. But unfortunately, over the years, what has been happening, a kind of politicization. Before taking even the smallest of the action, they look at the political leadership for the green signal. Like some gentleman has very rightly pointed out that when there was attack of Punjab Intel building, nothing has been done. So again, sad. What the guys who were arrested in Karnal, what happened to that? It's a big question mark all around.
Yeah, a lot of question marks still remain. Unfortunately, I will have to leave that conversation there. I'd like to thank my colleagues and all our guests as well. We'll continue to put out snippets of these revelations right through the day on our channel. But now we're shifting our focus to the other big story that we're tracking. Ex-Vice President Hamid Ansari has refuted the allegations leveled against him by the BJP, saying that he'd invited a Pakistani journalist, Nusrat Mizra, to India. But why is this a big accusation? The Pakistani journalist had claimed that he passed on sensitive information to the ISI that he collected while being in the country on Ansari's invitation. Hamid Ansari, he claimed that he never met Mirza, but the BJP has cited a photo from 2009 which shows Ansari and Mirza sharing a dais at a conference on tourism.
हामिद अंसारी जी ने सारा ठीक रहा, कांग्रेस की सरकार के ऊपर यह कह के फोड़ा कि जो फॉरेन डिग्निटरीज उपराष्ट्रपति के कार्यक्रम में बुलाए जाते हैं, ये सरकार की सलाह से बुलाए जाते हैं। क्या ये सत्य नहीं है कि इस तरह का कोई भी कार्यक्रम अगर उसका आयोजन होता है तो उसकी क्लियरेंस इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसीज के इनपुट्स के बाद की जाती है? ऐसे व्यक्ति को वीजा क्यों दिया गया? वो भारत में आके यहां पे रेकी करता है, जानकारी लेता है और उसके बाद उस जानकारी का इस्तेमाल भारत में आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा देने के लिए किया जाता है। प्रश्न यह भी पूछा जाना चाहिए कि हामिद अंसारी जी, आपकी याददाश्त बहुत अच्छी है, लेकिन क्या नियत में खोट था कि इस 2009 की प्रेस वार्ता का जिक्र आपने अपने वक्तव्य में नहीं किया?
हामिद अंसारी साहब और उनके स्टाफ ने या और कांग्रेस के लीडर्स ने ये बोला कि जो जर्नलिस्ट है पाकिस्तान के वो हमारे इनविटेशन पे हमारी कॉन्फ्रेंस में आए, ये फैक्चुअली गलत है। ना हमने उनको इनविटेशन दिया था, ना ही वो उन्होंने हमारी कॉन्फ्रेंस किसी भी तरीके से अनइनवाइटेड या इनवाइटेड कॉन्फ्रेंस को अटेंड। हमने तो इसलिए नहीं बुलाया था क्योंकि टेररिज्म की हमारी कॉन्फ्रेंस है और उसके अंदर पाकिस्तान के जब हमने जजेज को नहीं बुलाया, वहाँ के बार लीडर्स को नहीं बुलाया, तो हम एक जर्नलिस्ट को किस लिए बुलाएं?
Let me also now bring in my colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who is joining us with more details on the broadcast. Pallavi, while the ex-vice president has refuted all these allegations, the BJP is using a photograph from 2009 to prove its, point. So where does the reality really lie?
Well, I mean, there have been defenses which have come in from Hamid Ansari and his office as well, saying that this is absolutely baseless allegations. The Congress party also has defended him. But more than that, the Congress party has also defended the Gandhis by saying it's completely unfair to say that the UP had actually reached out and involved the ISI. But if you look at the kind of proof which has been put forward by the BJP, and they did that in the press conference, it has every possibility of now flaring up into a huge storm. We know this always, Ridhima, that when it comes to issues of nationalism or national security, Congress has often been on a